This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the JOBY HandyPod Clip, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So this breaks down into 2 parts, and before we do that, I'm just going to talk about the materials a little bit. So listed on their site, they have aluminum, steel, glass-filled nylon, plastic, and TPE. So there's a lot of things there, but basically this is made of mostly plastic, and then there's some silicone-like material as well, and then obviously there's some metal in the bone. So overall, I felt it was pretty durable. I didn't have any issues with it breaking or anything like that, and I did take it to some more rugged adventures. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is this little bit of elastic pull here. It hasn't stretched out at all yet, but in my experience, eventually this stuff always does kind of lose its elasticity, but it hasn't happened so far. And you know, if you get 5 years out of this thing, that's really not a bad deal. But that's just the one kind of Achilles heel for me that I'm a little bit worried about. But as I said, this breaks into 2 parts. So this top part here is the phone clip, and then the bottom part is the tripod. So as you can see here, just a standard tripod thread. I was able to put my Fuji X-D3 on here without an issue, and it was able to hold it. If you were to put a longer lens, or just a heavier lens, I had a pancake lens on there, this ball joint might not be able to hold it, but just with a stock very small lens, it wasn't a problem. And if you were to put a heavier lens on there as well, you'd probably have to line it up with one of these legs, otherwise it's gonna topple over still. But compared to other small, little stands, this does pretty well in my personal opinion, but if you have a heavier camera, it just might not work. For like an Instax Mini or something like that, it works great. So we have 2 legs here that are just standard legs that kind of look like drone propellers to me, and then the last one is a clip here. So you can clip this onto things, which is handy for storage, and also you can kind of use it as a little bit of a grip for your hand. So if you want to have your phone on there or your GoPro or something like that, this works really well for a GoPro. If you get the attachment, you can kind of get really steady footage like this if you're taking videos, and just a nice little handy clip. It does add quite a bit of space, but I don't know, I think it's a good trade-off for me, especially because this is a bigger phone stand already. So we do have a ball joint, as I said, and you can go vertical, so you can send it that way, or you can put it in any other really configuration that you want to, because the ball joint is pretty stiff, and I haven't had anything I put on there be too heavy for it, but I also didn't put a super heavy camera on there because that's not what this is for. And then this is the phone grip section, which doesn't really work super well on its own, obviously, as you can see, but if you attach it to this tripod or a different tripod, and which I'll do to this one here right now. Of course, as I'm doing it on camera, I'm not doing a very good job at it. It's very easy to do, very easy to thread. Then I've got my phone over here. And so the bottom section of your phone goes in like this, and the top section just attaches onto the top. Again, very easy to do. I'm on camera, so I'm struggling a little bit, but very nice phone stand, especially when you pair it with a ball joint. So if you attach it to a tripod that doesn't have a ball joint, you really can't get as much like versatility out of it. Obviously, if it's not a ball joint, you can probably still move it around a little bit, but to get level photos and level footage, you really need to have the ability to move it around like this. So as I said, you can go, wrong way there. You can go vertical with it. As you can see, it doesn't work super well with this phone, but it does work well with, an Instax Mini or a GoPro or something like that. But because my phone is just too tall, it doesn't work super well. You could, in theory, hang it off like this side, if there's a ledge right here, you could hang it like this, but odds are your phone's gonna be too heavy and pull it down. So it doesn't work great for phones like that, but like I said, GoPro, stuff like that, it's gonna work. As far as taking the phone strap off here, it kind of tends to get stuck on your phone, so you have to pull it like this to get it off. Otherwise, it's going to try and pull my case. Standard, like without a case, it's not a problem, but if you do have a case on there, especially one that's kind of like blocky like mine is, it kind of holds on to it and doesn't want to let it go, so you kind of have to bring it out from the back to get your phone out. So if you are finding this video helpful, make sure you throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So we're gonna chat about packability, which, as you can see, this thing is not very small compared to my hand. It's not, I can grab it like this, but it's not in the, in my palm or anything like that. You can save a little bit of space, I guess, by folding the ball grip to the side like that, but still, it's just really not that small. But it will fit into like if I'm wearing like a pair of hiking pants, it'll fit into those pockets, or cargo pants or something like that, a coat pocket, but it's not gonna fit into like a standard pair of pants, at least comfortably. So this is better off, you have the clip, so you can clip it onto things, like the outside of your bag. If you want to clip it to your sling strap, which I did while I was riding my bike, it works pretty well. So I think that it is a nice trade-off, that it is big, but you have this clip to attach it to things, so you don't necessarily have to put it in your pocket and keep it in your pocket all the time. One other thing to mention is that this can get caught on things, especially if you have it attached on the outside of your bag. Like say you're hiking, like this could get caught on a branch or something like that. And this is what obviously pulls the phone tight when you're like this, so you don't want that to break, because without this, the thing is pretty much useless. But I did find this to be very stable. I did take some time-lapse videos with this while I was testing it, but this makes it very easy to take steady video, take time lapses, or take group photos because you can leave your phone there or leave it on a steady surface. So I'm happy with it, but it is pretty big. So if you have followed this channel for a while, you know that I pretty much always have the Joby Grip-Tite 1 microstand in my pocket because it's super useful to me, and also it fits in my pocket, so it's very easy to bring with me. So it's a very easy thing to compare to the HandyPod Clip because HandyPod Clip, sorry, I keep wanting to call it a grip. Very good thing to compare it to because they do a lot of the same things, but obviously, as you can see, one is significantly smaller. When it comes to weight, you're not going to notice a huge difference. Obviously, there is a difference, but it's just not enough to worry about when you're packing unless you're super ultralight packing and worried about every single ounce. But it's really the size that does makes the biggest difference here. Like this fits into like the cash pocket on like a pair of jeans, and you're going to be lucky to fit this comfortably inside of almost any just standard pocket. But there are a lot more features on this one. Obviously, you can go vertical with certain devices on this one, which you can't do on the Joby Grip-Tite 1. You're just going horizontal, you're going horizontal. You can't go vertical with it. You can attach both of them to a tripod. They both screw off. But I just think you're getting a little bit more usage out of this one and things you can do with it. You can use it as the phone grip, or the video grip, as I said, like a POV-style video. It does get a little bit higher off the ground. You can use this with a small mirrorless camera, whereas this little tiny tripod here, it's not going to do it. It cannot. It doesn't have enough. I don't even know what the word is. I'm not smart enough to know the physics of that, but it can't hold it. It's just going to topple over. Even with like an Instax Mini, sometimes this cannot hold up to it. But again, it's so much smaller, it fits into your pocket, whereas this is a lot more to bring along, but you can clip this on if you want to. So it just depends on what you want to use it for, what devices you're using it for, and how you plan on carrying it. I can keep this in my pocket all the time, but this has to be attached to a backpack or something. So there you have it, the Joby HandyPod Clip. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.